This is the weekly tap in, and I'm tapping in. What's good? What's good? What's good? You guys already know the business. Go ahead and put your neighborhood wherever you reside so we can give you a shout out. And I just want to thank all the listeners who are listening on the podcast or the replay, man. Put your shout out in there anyways as well, homie. We want to hear from you. We want you to tap in. We want you to get some of this good stuff. We passing out for free. No strings attached. Because we come from the school of thought that breeds that your success will ultimately impact our success. So as long as you're successful, we're going to be successful. Ride this out. I know we're competing with a lot with the national championship. That's why I'm more concerned with the replay as opposed to you guys tapping in with me live. You guys check me out on the replay. I think it'll be a lot better anyway, man. Because a lot of times what happens is it takes you a few times to actually get what somebody's putting down. So today we got some really important things, pruning. So we're talking about removal today. That's kind of the basis of the theme today, man. This is episode 2 of season 3, just in case you were wondering, right? We got 3 seasons down, man, which is a really big deal in the podcast space. Very difficult to do episodes and be consistent with it. So now we're becoming a lot more consistent, which is a whole nother episode talking about consistency. But today we're talking about removal, right? Pruning and strategically saying no, right? How we say no for better opportunities. So make sure you guys put those in the chat, where you're from, where you're tapping in from. YouTubers, we appreciate it. If you're tapping in on Facebook, we appreciate that as well. Yeah, man, it's been good. So kind of where it stemmed from, just to kind of give you guys an idea on where the idea of this episode came from, is I was listening to a interview between Tavis Smiley and Michael Williamson, or Michael Williams, I believe, and he's the Forrest Gump, the brother in Forrest Gump. And one of the things he said he was talking to Denzel, and I think Tavis Smiley brought it up as well. I can't remember who said it, but Denzel Washington. And what's going on, fam? AZ in the building. He said one thing about Denzel Washington. He said he made his career not for what he agreed to, but more importantly, what he said no to. He said, had he said yes to everything, what's going on, Samuel? Shout out to ATL. What's good, fam? Had he said yes to everything, it would have really diminished his capital, right? If you're always available, and we talked about this in the past, if you're always available, you start to lose a lot of your luster, right? You start to lose a lot of your attractiveness. Damn, you always around. Right, we talked about homies being available all the time, right? Them kind of homies is always available versus that one who you never see. Like, damn, the homie around. What? This cat slid up on us. We never see you, right? It's kind of exciting. And the same thing holds true, right? You're always around. You're always available, right? It's not going to be that attractive, right? It's not. It's just one of the things that you'll know, right? I'm like, nah, let me not be available. Let me turn this down. He said that was one of the main things that got him to where he is today. It's hard to, he's desirable because you can't get him, right? Like that female who was just off limits, or that dude who would never, that's, so saying no I think is just as powerful as saying yes, right? So we'll talk more detail about that as we progress throughout this evening. But I wanted to make sure there was another thing. This is the importance of listening, right? This is the importance of it's hard to catch some emotion. We learned that from T, homie. South Central LA. What's up, John? Pedal pushers in the building. Kid, we learned that from T, where he always told us, man, it's hard to hit a moving target, right? Right. But if you're always you at every function, you at every party, you at the club, you females like, man, here we go again. Like but if you didn't want, like, who's that? We never see him, but you really from over there, but you never around. That's when people want to gravitate towards you. You feel me? But don't be always available for everybody. Don't always answer the call on the first. Like, don't treat people like that, but you can't always be available for everybody, right? Because then you'll get burned out. And at some point you got to be, stand up for yourself or have some self-interest. And nah, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, nah. Oh, everybody going here, everybody. Yeah, nah. Man, everybody doing it. Yeah, nah. Everybody's doing the 10-year challenge. Nah. Right? I'm not doing that. I'm just not. I don't feel like going to look for some 10 years. I just don't feel like doing it. And you have to be okay with how you say no to people. Nah, homie. Oh man, slide over here with me. Nah, dog. Nah. Mm-mm. Why? Because I know I'm gonna waste my time with you, homie. I know you like to be on long trips. I know you play around, homie. I know you don't like to go to good spots to eat. I know you stay in some BS. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Tanisha? I appreciate you guys tapping in. People always on some BS, right? So like, nah, hey, come through real quick. I gotta tell you something. Man, send it to me in a text message. Call me, right? Them kind of cats. Hey, homie, call me. If you text me to tell me to call you, then I know it's some BS. Right? I just off the top, I know that's some BS. You feel me? Like, nah. And you gotta be okay with denying things. Nah, dog, I'm good. Right? They talk about dieting. You gotta let's go get some ice cream. Nah, man, I'm straight. Why? Because I'm lactose intolerant, homie. My stomach starts hurting. I've been lactose intolerant since I was probably a kid. Like it's always made my stomach hurt, but nobody never knew why. Now I realize as an adult that I'm lactose intolerant. So nah. Hey man, you want to go to this New Year's? Nah. Why? Because I don't feel like drinking. And 2, I don't want a hangover. 3, it's a gang of police out. So nah. Hey home, you want to go to this function? Nah. Why? There's gonna be a bunch of hood cats. Somebody's gonna get into a fight. Police gonna be over there. It's not gonna be comfortable. Nah. You want to go to that? Nah, man. Not with y'all. You want to go to this game? Nope. Why? Because there's a bunch of drunk asses up there fighting. And I don't feel like exposing myself to that, right? The art of success oftentimes is reduction, is removing yourself from certain situations. There's a term called opportunity cost, right? A lot of people don't know it's in business. When you're doing one thing, that prevents you from doing something else, right? So there's an opportunity cost there. If I'm over here, I can't be here, right? If I'm at the club, I can't be at the library. If I'm over here, I can't be here. If I'm messing around with you, I can't be. So there's opportunity costs, right? If you're, and I used to tell people this all the time with your hands, if your hands are full, it's hard to receive anything. So sometimes you got to remove some things out of your life in order to get your hands to where you can receive the actual blessing that'll really get you there. Because that's the key. A lot of times we think that a person, a situation is the ultimate end, right? And God's trying to move you off of it. But you steady, stubborn. You holding tooth and nail on to whatever it is, friendship, relationship, it doesn't matter. You holding tooth and nail. I ain't letting it go. God trying to, man, listen, homie, if you would let this go, I got something over here that's going to blow your wig back. Like, you're not going to believe what kind of, you got to let people go. Facts. More, definitely people, because this is the thing, right? With people, they can help you. They're some of the only people that can help you get your dreams. It's very difficult to go after your goals by yourself, right? But you're the sum or the average of the 5 closest people to you. So you need to look to the right and to the left and see who you see, right? 2 on the right, 2 on the left. I'm somewhere in between these 2, right? So you got to figure that part out. If I'm somewhere in between these 2, man, I need to switch. I need to swap some people out, homie. I gotta swap some people out. Hey man, I gotta rotate you, dog. Bench time for you, dog. It's time for you to go have a seat, right? Yeah. You put in your minutes, homie. You feel me? You put in your minutes, we get it. You put your best in, but I gotta swap you out. Trade, right? We on some Anthony Davis stuff, right? About time to trade. And sometimes you gotta trade people in order to get better ones, right? In order for people that, imagine if you had somebody that was pushing the shit out of you, right? That was just like every day they got your schedule. You're like, well, damn. Right. But some people, some people don't care nothing about what you're doing. They could care less about what you do. Not interested or none of that stuff. But imagine if you had somebody interested that was really pushing you. That person might be around the corner, but a lot of times we get to the position where we're not trying to let what we have go. What we have, we think is good enough. And that blessing might be around the corner. So there's a book called oh, now it just slipped my mind, but it's by, I've talked about it before. It's Secrets of the Vine, and it's by, he's the guy who wrote the Prayer of Jabez, which is another good one. Prayer of Jabez, Secrets of the Vine, and he wrote uh The Dream Giver, Bruce Wilkinson. And when he talks about the secrets of the vine, it talks about how you need to prune people out of your life. If you guys are familiar with the art of pruning or the practice of pruning, what you do to branches in order for them to really thrive is you got to cut them. You got to cut leaves and stems that aren't necessarily producing. Same thing with growing cannabis. You gotta shave those bottom leaves because they're taking up a lot of nutrients. Like your friends, they're taking up a lot of nutrients. You think they're your friends, you think they're helping you, but they're taking up all your nutrients. All that power you got to give them. For what? I got to drag your ass to the gym. I got to take you here. I got to take you there. I got to force you to do this. And I got to argue with you about my philosophies. That's not a friendship. This is something we're trying to prove to each other. You're trying to prove to me how not doing shit is still popping. And I'm trying to prove to you how doing stuff is the only way to success, right? So we're gonna be conflicted, period. And that's one of the problems, right? So sometimes you do have to prune people out of your life. You got to prune habits, people, ideas, right? Things that you've been force fed. These ideas don't come from us. A lot of times they're handed down from our parents, from people who are around them, and their circumstances dictated how they thought, right? Their circumstances dictated their whole entire process. So you got to realize whatever you went through is impacting what I'm dealing with, right? If I interact with you. So if I'm around somebody who's been, even though we may have come from similar circumstances, right? But you're a perpetual optimist, means that you see life like, man, this is a chance. Les Brown he was talking about it too. He was like, man, at this day and time, this is about the most even it's been, right? So when people talking about, man, it's toe up out there, we can't do this, we can't do that, economy stinks, man, internet's never been faster, phones have never been more amazing, cars have never been more amazing. We just are stuck with that old train of thought. We're still stuck with a 92 mentality, right? It ain't bad, homie. You serious? It was bad in 1910 when no TV, the cars, horse shit everywhere. That you talk about when it was bad. That's when cats should have been complaining. Like water was effed up. The liquor was better than the water. That's right now. Man, we can go buy bottled water. We get stuff delivered. It's gravy now, and it's all perspective. I had a disappointment the other day. I thought was a disappointment. Turned out it's going to be a blessing in a couple days for me when I need it. And that's the thing, man. We oftentimes we interpret disappointments as this is just man. You don't know what God got set up for you, and if you didn't strike out here, you would miss this, right? Because you'd be won. Nah, that's not. You didn't win. You think you won from a human standpoint, but from a spiritual standpoint, God can see the entire play, right? We're 2-3 steps ahead, which we think. God's looking at the entire plane. How things interact with each other. So a lot of stuff ain't gonna make no sense. It's not. But one thing holds true. He's gonna tell you when you need to get some things out of your life. He's gonna tell you when you need to start the cutting because it's not productive, right? And you're gonna feel it. It's gonna be an energy thing, right? It's gonna be, man, this energy's conflicting, man. I gotta feel like I'm arguing with you. And we're supposed to be friends. We're supposed to be inspiring each other, right? We're supposed to be family. We're supposed to be feeding and building off of this. We're not supposed to be conflicting. I mean, nothing wrong with conflict because oftentimes a resolution comes out of a conflict, something that needed to be fixed. But you're not supposed to be butting heads with somebody over philosophy, over the way you think, over the way you think life should be. I'm a reader. I was just listening to George Fraser, who was also on Talking to Tavis Smiley. He said, we don't read enough. I'm telling people, man, that's the only way that I've learned what I've learned is through books. Hearsay is subjective as shit. People were guessing out here with Google. How the fuck are you guessing with Google, man? I think. Man, you don't knock it off. I don't listen to I thinkers right now. It's Google Home right here, homie. Here's the questions. This who gets the questions, homie. Not some random ass Facebook philosopher. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm now it's about reading and getting what you need. Nobody wants to read. Why? Because there's no glory in it. There's nobody that can say anything like, wow, you knocked out a chapter today. That's impressive, man. It doesn't look good, right? But your conversation changes, right? Your vocabulary is elevated. All these things I've learned in books because where did it come from? I couldn't understand the news. When they started using certain words, and everybody act like they understand what they mean in certain, listen to certain news programs, and y'all have to get lost because we don't read enough. I know my vocabulary wasn't strong. I'm the first to admit it. And the only way that you can get better is if you admit where your flaws are. Where are my flaws? Okay, my vocabulary is not strong. Where else are my other flaws at? And you start to look, I use slang a lot. Okay, well, start to insert certain words that you pick up in literature, start to insert it into your conversation, and pretty soon it'll become a regular habit. You remember reading the 21 Days, the Habit book, don't you? Yeah, of course, with the purple bracelet. Yeah, I remember that. Start to talk to yourself. God's already equipped you with the inventory. He already has ahead of time. The books, everything you need is already with you. The problem is, one, we're not patient enough, right? And then two, we start to look to the left and to the right. I was just talking to somebody about that today. I said, if we sat there and did an inventory of where we were last year versus where we are this year, and if we're in a better position, it will instantly get killed once we start to look at someone else. The minute we start to look at their stuff. But if we keep it focused on our mile, our times, our lap times, and not look at everybody else because we don't know what position they're in and how they got there and who's who, and we only focus on that, we'll be happy. We won't be never disappointed. Won't happen. It's impossible. When we start to look to the left and to the right and take our focus off our own path, that's when it starts to look funky, right? And a lot of times what happens is if you have the wrong people around you, they'll be the ones that remind you of that. Oh, that's cool. But did you see such and such and such? Homie, I remember when I bought my Tahoe. I remember it was a 96 Tahoe and they just changed the body style. As soon as I bought the hating ass home, homie, why you didn't get the new one? Why you didn't get the whoopty wham whoop? Hey, you saw this? And I started to bind and I started looking at my truck different. Like, oh, you did. Well, and these are ideas that cats put in your head, no matter how dope it was. Right? Because I liked it. The truck was dope, had the pearl on it. But like them, which neither one of them had a truck. Right? Keep this in mind. This is the thing about haters. Neither one of them will have whatever it is they're speaking on. Because somebody who already has it understands where you are. So they won't hate on you. Right? They'll never hate on you. Right. And we talked about that $1 million dream, right? You only share it with people who either have $1 million or have lost $1 million, but you never share it with somebody who's had neither one of them because they won't understand. Their mind can't comprehend. Now, the person who does understand that is the other one who understands that $1 million mentality. They'll dig it. Oh, yeah, man, let's get it. I'm on my way too, dog. You excited? Yup. And that's just like going to go see, the Wizard of Oz or whatever. Yeah, man, I'm excited. Let's rock and roll. Man, then you run into that one, right? This is where you need to. So in cannabis, they got these little scissors called, they're like pruning scissors, right? And you just snip. You just pull your little thing out and you just start snipping leaves. Get one like a human size one, right? This, like a human size snip or a pruner. And just whenever somebody gets to talking out of line, just pull that thing out, snip their ass, cut their ass off. Don't give them no more nutrients, none. Because all they're doing is taking your nutrients and wasting them. It's going to complete waste. So in order for your real trees that can give you the best fruit to get the nutrients, you got to cut them little bootleg badass ones off or the ones who aren't producing for you. And you can see them, they change when you change, homie. Right? They change colors. As soon as you change, they change colors. They change attitudes. They change conversations. Things get different when you start to change. It's crazy. It's almost like an immediate effect. It's the most bizarre thing you'll see. Now, people who are with you will already know that you're winning. right? You don't have to go tell them. We in it together. Let's go get this. Okay, man, you looking at this property. I'm looking at one over here. And we going to learn from each other, right? But then you got the mother ones. The mother ones who go make moves and don't tell you nothing, right? Won't tell you nothing until it's done and there ain't no more. Man, they had cookies over here, dog. Man, these golden ones. But shoot, I got the last ones. Man, what kind of shit is that? But these are another ones you need to prune out your life, because they ain't gonna tell you. They gonna act like they doing you a favor, right? This is the myth that they try to put you on. I'm doing you a solid, but you realize it ain't. It's never there. Like, it's almost there, but it's never. You can't quite, like, damn, I threw you the rope, dog. You didn't catch it, man. You didn't, man. But I threw. No. Somebody who's on your squad gonna make sure you on that rope and gonna wait until you get up. You didn't catch it. You know them kind of cat. You didn't get it. What you mean I didn't get it? You know, you threw this old flimsy shit. You know what I'm saying? You knew that, but then you acting like you really threw me a rope. Break out the scissors, snip, cut them off, because it's never gonna be what you think it's gonna be. It isn't. And you shouldn't look at it that way anyway, right? Relationships aren't for what you can take out of them. They're for what you can put inside of them. But you got to understand, when you're not getting the return or the reciprocity, you'll feel it. Like, I'm putting more into this than I'm actually getting back. That feels like a robbery. It feels like a tug of war where I'm dolo, man, and you up there looking like the Squid Game. You feel what I'm saying? So those who watch the Squid Game, you'll know what I'm talking about. So when that's kind of what the tug of war feels like. So you got to check yourself and say, okay, so how can I start to develop this strategic army around me, right? By pruning, by cutting the people off, right? Because I can't, like, I got a car, right? And I got 4 of y'all in here. 3 of y'all haters, right? I can't get another player in here. There's too many haters. I got to get rid of one of these haters. At least 2 or 3 of y'all got to get up out of here. I need another player in here, man, because we can't make this ride with y'all in here, because y'all talking about tire pressure, how long it takes while the air conditioning ain't working in Colorado and it's cold, right? Just little stuff about life. It's rough. Watch the CNN. Look how bad it is out here. COVID, this, problems you can't solve. Get the big ones. You got to get human-sized ones and get to pruning your shit. I promise you, once you start pruning your stuff, you'll start to see leaves develop, things that you didn't know inside yourself, right? That you didn't even realize you had this limitation, because it wasn't you, it was this hater that you keep rocking with, right? And they're not even realizing that they're a hater. But you realize, why is it so damn heavy? If we you ever like we supposed to be lifting this boat together, but I'm damn near dragging it, because they ain't helping you, right? They're not helping you. And if they're not helping you, they're doing what? Hurting you, right? So the best thing you can do is not return the favor, right? We don't get down in the mud with pigs. It's not how we rock. We're better than that. We remove ourselves from that stable, homie, that pig style. We start to go hang with the horses. I don't care if we look like a pig or not. I'm over here with the thoroughbreds, killer. I'm over here with the bulls, not the cows, the ones getting slaughtered, the ones that's out here lighting these cats up and sending them up in these stands. That's who I'm rocking with. Even though I may look like a pig, I'm not getting down there with them, right? And slowly but surely, you start to transform into something else.
I did a lot of work, and I was like,
well, what?
Will somebody tell me?
Oh, I'm sorry. One of the homegirl went live. It was on my pocket. But at the same time, you gotta start to tell people who you are. No matter what, we grew up this way. We grew up together. We went to high school. I don't care what it is. You can transform into whoever you want to be. Doesn't matter. And don't let people take you there. Oftentimes, it's family members that can't see you beyond what they saw when you was in the 7th grade, right? That's all they see. That's all they hold on to, right? Because if you change and they still the same crabby ass, then what's that say about them, right? So they won't be comfortable with your change. They won't, because it's going to make them address theirs or lack thereof it. So that's why it's so important to go back, get that little holster, take out them scissors, snip, snip, cut. Family, friends, I don't care who it is. Nobody's immune to the scissors. Snip, snip. Cut their ass off. Life is too short. Too short to be giving your energy, your time to people that won't return the favor, people that won't show any interest in your dreams and goals, people that won't speak life into you. Snip, snip. I'd rather be by myself and speaking life into myself than listening to your dreary ass. Right? Listening to your negative ass tell me how I can. Because guess what? In order for me to get to where I need to get to, I have to psych myself out to almost towards insanity. So I don't need your logical ass telling me anything, right? Outside of me stepping into on a rattlesnake. But in terms of business, in terms of anything else, no, thank you. Pete, nah. It's either nah or I'm going to the scissors. But those are the only two options for some people, man. And you got to go to the scissors, cut their ass off. The pruning, let me get the pruning. Okay, I cut a leaf off. You didn't listen. All right, branch, all y'all gone. You, her, and him. Whole branch gone. Yeah, that branch in my life. Y'all out of here. Nah, ain't no more talking. Some homies you got to do like that too. Like, you getting me in all kind of shit, dog. Not only that, you ain't talking about nothing. Every time I talk to you, it's some drama. Snip and cut it. Period. And not feel no shame in doing that. Because it's your life, homie. It's yours. So you got to rock with it one way or another. And the best way to move forward a lot of times is, I'm reading a book right now, right? I was talking about these firefighters who got into some stuff. And the fire was chasing them and and their instinct, their first instinct, I forget my sister-in-law just bought it for me. Really good book. It's by Adam Grant, guy who wrote out the originals, and he wrote another one too, Give and Take. Really good author. But anyways, so they're talking about these firefighters, and they're running. It's not a laughing matter because a lot of them perished. They died. And they were running. One guy did this brilliant thing, and he like lit the fire and burned in front of them, so they had an escape route and but they had to run up this hill. And what they weren't doing was getting rid of their equipment. They were running with saws, they were running with hammers, they were running with shovels, they're running with all this kind of stuff, and not even realizing that they're taking this stuff with them. Had they thrown it away, they could have moved 20% faster, which would have got them to the ridge and which would have saved their lives. And the whole moral to the story is we hold on to these beliefs about things, right? In our subconscious mind, we don't even realize that we're sitting there holding on to them. Friendships that aren't giving us returns. You know what I mean? Jobs that aren't giving us returns, right? Just a whole approach to it, right? And we're sitting there just holding on to stuff. And it's going to cost us our lives in so many words. It's going to cost us our lives if we don't let that shit go, right? We don't break out them scissors and say, man, you know what? I can replace this, right? You were funny with you were cool. Oh, you kept it popping. Oh, you was a cool Tecmo Bowl player. Took it back on y'all. But I can find another one, right? I can find another one, right? People, don't throw people away. Bullshit. You ain't got to throw them away. But they ain't got to ride with you. Would you going to just have a bunch of people on you? You got to get to cutting, right? If they're not swinging and giving you momentum and giving you energy and giving you life, then what the fuck is the point? What's the point? Because we known each other? I've known Cass for 30 years and still don't like the Cass. That doesn't have anything to do with it, right? How long I've known you? You was bullshit then, right? So, I mean, it like, I'm going to just be 100. Like, nigga, you was that then. Like, so it's not like it doesn't matter. It's my life. I have a choice now. When you was a teenager, when you was in your mom's house, dad's house, you didn't have choices. We're adults now. Everything is optional, including MFs. right? They're very optional. Snip, snip. And be one thing about it, like be cool with that. Because if it was a real friendship, they'll recognize why you cut them off. And they'll hopefully, if they take the right, you know, perspective, they'll understand it was the best thing for them. Because oftentimes when people are latching to you because they don't want to change either. And oftentimes when you cut them off, that's their only opportunity to change because they have to, right? They have now they're forced to. They don't have you as a source, right? They gotta go do what they gotta do now. So it's better for both of us, right? If we realize that we're not getting anything, you're not growing, or if they really a leech, they just gonna go suck up on somebody else, whoever's life is available. Let me go suck the life out of them. Yeah, but you ain't doing it to me no more. That's out, dog. And not think anything of it. I ain't talked to the home. Oh man, I gotta nah, homie. We grown ass men. You ain't on this type of stuff. Then ain't nothing we talk about. Only thing you could do is bring drama in my life. Right? You ain't gonna bring me a CD. You ain't gonna bring me a Bitcoin. Right? you bringing that? Nah, the homies ain't bringing you Bitcoins. They're bringing you drama. Now, when you find someone that brings you a Bitcoin, hey man, you know what, man? Let me slide this to you. And not even a Bitcoin at its ultimate where it is right now. Speaking of cryptocurrency. But somebody who tells you some information that could potentially get you to get a Bitcoin that will potentially get you to be rich later. That's your homeboy. Right? With no strings attached. Homie, let me put you up on something. Homie, let me tell you what I'm up to. Let me tell you what tools I'm using. Let me tell you this. Let me slide this to you. Let me give you this game. These are the type of homies that we are looking for. These are the type of people that we need strategically in our army. Right? Because it's a spiritual war out there and you're going to need fellow mates to run things off of, right? And one thing somebody said earlier too, they were like, people don't, oh, this is from the Michael Williamson. I keep pronouncing his name wrong, I know it. But one of the things he said, man, people don't make people your source. He said, because somebody who may be wanting to do you a favor, right? Somebody may want to do you a favor and they can't because some unforeseen incident happens. Now you looking at them going cry. I'm like, I thought you was gonna do me that solid. Now they got this pressure on them, making them feel kind of awkward, make them back off of you, and they make them not want to do nothing for you, right? And he said, like, don't put that kind of pressure on them. If they can do it, cool. Not, don't worry about it. They can catch you somebody else. They can catch you another time. But what you won't want to do is burn that bridge or that relationship. And I'm not saying that. With good people who have good intentions, oftentimes they can't do what they say they're going to do because some unforeseen circumstance. But their intentions are well, and you can pick up on people's intentions off the top. You guys know my intentions. If I was trying to sell something, believe me, there would be an angle by now. Right? We're almost 2 years at this. And we're just the lives, not the podcast. Podcast, we're 3 years in. Right? Just we're working on this is our second episode of season 3. But if I was trying to do that, I would have done that by now. Right? My game would have been exposed. My intent would have been blah, blah, blah. But it's not. I try to bring it to you guys every day, or at least every week, giving you more and more because I know life is giving me the same thing. So the least I can do is try to return the favor, which is what you're supposed to do in relationships. It's a give and take, but more give, right? You don't need to take because it'll give back to you. No reason to take anything, right? Give, right? But learn how to say no. You got to learn how to say no. Nah, I'm not with that. Leaders are cool with that. They know exactly what they're into and what they're not into. Hey, man, we all going over here. Nah, I don't think so. I think I'm going to go ahead and head this way. Man, we all going back this way. Everybody. Leave California. No, I think I'm going to the most expensive part that they have. And but you don't have the money. Yeah, I know. I understand. I get it. Yeah, but you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And nobody talked me into this. Nobody said that this was a good idea. That's what I'm gonna tell. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it doesn't matter what other people think. It matters what you think. What are you going after? What's more important to you? And I believed inside myself. I don't care what anybody said. I said, I know I can succeed. I got to go where the money is. I know that much. This shit drying up out here. I'm out of here. You guys can fight over these crumbs for to the umpteenth. Doesn't matter. I'm out of here. If I'm a sink and swim, and damn sure ain't gonna be in a pond. Period. I'm a sink or swim in the ocean. Man, that dude went out there and fought. He ain't struggling 3 feet water because it was muddy and you can't see shit. Right? So I'm gonna put myself in that position, and we can't be afraid of that. We can't be afraid to put ourselves out there and try something. We're going after this restaurant. I'm going after it full throttle. And I was cleaning parking lots last night, homie, sweeping them. Trash, putting up patio, learning the game. Learning the game. How do you deal with this? Bathrooms, the dispensers, toilet paper, the all this stuff. Because the first thing we thinking of is selling chicken. Right? Who's going to manage this? How am I going to teach the manager how to do X, Y, Z? Well, I got to go learn. Same thing they would do if I was going into a $1 million McDonald's franchise. They make me sit there and flip Big Macs, nuggets, and fries for 2 years. So I said, I'm going to take the same philosophy. I don't need to go to McDonald's school. I'll teach my damn self. Let me go get a job. Let me learn how to do this. And by the grace of God, the good people on my burger looked out for me and understood what I'm trying to do. Still gave me an opportunity. I've learned so much. I've learned about procedure, process, lemonade, milkshakes, beef combinations, sizes, sauces, counter, front end, back end, and I'm still not there. But I make notes every time I go. What I learned today. What I learned today. Just boop, 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 boop. Just ordered a restaurant book. One of the best ones on how to manage a restaurant. It's supposed to be like this thick. Shit costs like $75. And I'm sitting there anticipating it, right? But I ain't got a problem with dropping $75 on 7 grams of weed, right? Perspective. What do you put your money? What do you invest in? We talked about investments last week. Why are we so hesitant on spending that kind of money on a book, right? If it's that expensive, man, there must be some damn game in there. I need all the game I can get. I'm trying to compete with Popeyes, the dude with the blonde hair in Florida, and these fools selling Church's chicken. I ain't saying I want to compete with nobody else. That was it. And I'm going in that confidently, but I'm not going in it with just confidence alone. I'm going in it with hard work, determination, organization, procedures, and education. I'm going to teach myself. I've been watching it. I've subscribed to magazines. I'm immersing myself in it because that's what I'm going to do. I'm also studying for a PhD. Well, I'm not actually in the program yet, but I'm doing my geometry. I'm doing all the stuff to prepare because I have a date with the GRE in the middle of the summer and hopefully apply to a program the following year. How do I go do that? I don't know, but God has guided me, right? And a lot of times what happens is people will tell you, man, how can you need to focus on one thing at a time. No, you need to focus on one thing at a time. You need to do, man, you got to slow down. You got to do X. That's what you need to do. You know your speed, you know your engine, you know what you're capable of, right? But you don't know what I'm capable of. And only me and God have that opportunity. We the only ones got the manual. Matter of fact, he's the only one that has the manual. I don't even know how fast I can actually go. That's the crazy part, right? So when you start to look at things like that and that relationship that you have with God, man, you push the limit. Going after it full throttle. Hope, man, fail fast, fail often, but you damn sure better try. I don't care. People can think small. People can think you're limited. You don't know where I come from. Given the circumstances and the situation and the people that I had around me, man, now I feel like I can do anything. Right? If you know that, right? If you knew the hand that I was dealt in the spade game, and I'm still out here, I'm counting books, homie. Period. So that's the thing. I don't never talk about that because I don't want people to be, oh man, there's a pity party. Nah, homie. I'll just leave it at that. Still here, still standing, still going. Period. and trying to encourage you guys to do the same. The details are already out there. If I immerse you guys with the details, it'll get really boring quick. But whatever you want to know, invest in a good internet and one of these. And get to asking questions about every damn thing. Get curious. Everything. How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? That's what Google's there for. And it's going to lead you to something else. Read the article. Subscribe to the newsletter. Right? I learned about a few things that Taco Bell's getting ready to do. Right? The subscription, the taco subscription. Anybody heard about that? Nah, I don't know. You might have. But they're starting a taco subscription service where you can get a taco a day for $10 a month. Right? But these are the things that I'm reading, right? Because I'm immersing myself in it. Ideas. But you got to read. You have to read. I'm telling you that, I mean, you can watch video, you can listen to podcasts, all that stuff. But these are all based on people that read a lot. I read a lot. I'm always reading. When I'm sitting down there in my little thing, I'm doing geometry. Figure that out. Now I know the distance between two lines, right? I remember this stuff, but it's good to do it over again just to make sure that you're straight. So the small things that I'm doing, now I'm back to journaling again, right? Because a lot of times when you're going through stuff, you got to write it down. You got to make sure you're straight, man. You got to leave some documentation, take some pictures. Nobody's going to believe that anything happened, right? So you got to leave evidence a lot. These video things that I'm doing right now, this is all part of my legacy. I'll have plenty. Remember when he was talking about this? My grandkids can see this. They're going to be in digital spaces forever. This stuff will still be alive. Look at my great grandpa. Exactly. What legacy you working on? Somebody else's? We can't be doing that, right? And we can't get distracted because that enemy is a motherfucker. This cat will come with the blows. He comes with it. Especially when you getting close. When you doing the right thing, man, he throwing you curveballs. I saw a situation earlier with a young cat that just went bad. I'm sitting there watching myself in him, trying to advise him not to make those moves. But sometimes people got to step into the fire to realize that it's hot, right? The best experience is experience, ain't it? So we got to get out there and try stuff. And I didn't have any. So now I'm in this situation. I'm humble. I don't know what. Doing whatever. Making milkshakes, cleaning stuff, hamburger patties, all this stuff. Trying to understand how it works, how it's operationalized. Growth. Humble growth. And then show up every Monday. Here. Committed to it. Feel me? This is part of building who you are, changing that trajectory of who you're going to become. But you got to get to pruning. You really want to see your fruits. You really want to see what you're capable of. You got to get to pruning. You got to take them scissors out and get to snipping. Start with the leaves. The branches start acting funny. Cut that whole damn branch off. I don't remember none of y'all. Done. It's my life. You can get selfish with your life because the people depend on you, right? And a lot of times people depend on you for their inspiration. So when you stop changing, there might be 10 other people that stop changing that are watching you. So you got to keep it up, even if you don't feel like it, right? It's called being a professional. It's not called being authentic. It's called being a professional, showing up, even when it's not sexy to show up, even when it's not a fat ass paycheck to show up. I know I was talking to students. They was like, man, we're not doing no free internships. I said, y'all got the game twisted, which is why we can't find a good sandwich right now, man. You can't find a good cook. All of them chilling like, man, I ain't flipping no burgers. I ain't making no pasta. I ain't making no spaghetti sauce. Dog, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a boss. Of what? I don't know, but I'm a boss. So you got to learn, man. What do you want? We'll go back to that. Always, what do you want? Because whatever you want, whatever you desire is exactly what you're going to get. Exactly. So either keep it at the same level if you're content with what you have, or you got to start asking life for more. And when you ask life for more, you got to be willing to listen to what life tells you back. in terms of who can go with you and who can't. Everybody ain't supposed to get in the car. A lot of people are gonna be musty and not have deodorant on and funk the whole car up and hate and talk about the music. And you're gonna have to say, you know what, homie, it's been cool, it's been real, but snip and cut their ass off too. Like I said, the branch get the start with the leaves, other leaves get to saying, why you cut that leaf off? Why you do that? Cut the whole damn branch off. You wrong for doing that. Why are you acting awful? Get to talking, man. I'm about to cut this whole limb off. Everything will go. Everybody, all that. Because I'm doing whatever it takes to get to the top. Whatever it takes. Nothing unethical, nothing immoral, but I'm doing whatever it takes to get to the top. And if I got to drag you with me, that extra weight, that might cost me my life. So no, thank you. Leave you back here. Now, if you want to sit in this fire and burn, that's your choice. Period. But I'm not going to sit up here and let me and you die. That's not going to happen. I'm on this. I'm gonna be on the top of that mountain fighting tooth and nail. They're gonna be like, man, this dude damn near dug through the mountain to save his life. And that's what type of shit I'm on with my goals. I'm ready to dig through mountains, rock, whatever. The one thing me, Jay Prince, and 50 Cent got in common, they're already rich, but it's either gonna happen or I'm gonna die trying. There's no other option. And I'm trying every damn thing. I got my hands in hair, weed, chicken, you name it. But I don't know which. I'm in dice games with myself. I'm hitting points left and right. I got 2 or 3 dice games cracking. I don't know which one's going to crap out. I don't care. And I don't know which one I'm going to hit on. But I'm hitting 10 of foes on 2 or 3 of these damn things. And anybody shooting dice, hitting 10 of foes is damn near impossible. But I'm smacking them. And I'm side betting myself in every damn thing. God just like, man, keep hitting your point. I'll keep giving you a pair of dice. But don't you go gamble with somebody else. You better gamble with yourself. You better gamble on yourself. If you're going to side bet, you better side bet on you. Period. Man, we ain't gambling on somebody else's what they think. We gambling what God says. So my book of the week suggested Secrets of the Vine. Go grab that. Learn how to prune people out of your lives, right? Especially if they're not giving you the fruit that you really need to succeed, right? It's all about intention. Nothing personal. This is business, and it's personal with my goals, though, right? And I'm not going to let that go for any damn body. Secrets of the Vine, you guys want me to show you what it looks like? I'll go ahead and do that. Let's do that. Let me pull it up for you so you can see it. I think I've showed you guys in the past, man. But it's a really small book. Secrets of the Vine, Breaking into Abundance. It's a really small book, man, but it's good. It's power packed. You know, I don't give you guys no BS, man. You already know that. So, Secrets of the Vine, Bruce Wilkinson. I'm gonna go ahead and share this with you guys on the screen so you can see it. Those who are listening, from a podcast standpoint, it is a really small green book, but packed with so much power. And if you kind of feeling some type of way, like I don't want to cut this cat off, this is biblical. It's based on biblical verses. So God's got his hands in it some kind of way. So don't feel like it's a bad thing. But it's an amazing book. You can get it on Amazon, $7. Really good investment. But it helps you understand why it's important for you to prune people, right? And no, right? You got to be okay with saying no to things. Don't say yes to everything. Don't always be available. When you're always available, you'll get burnt out. People will stop wanting you. This cat's always available, right? Like shrimp, lobster. Imagine just a whole bunch of lobster. Like it's too much. You're like, this shit starts getting nasty. So you you got to be. What's up, Steven? Appreciate you tapping in on me. You got to be discretionary, when it comes to your time and what you say yes to. That will conclude our weekly tap in. I appreciate you guys tapping in, man. Make sure you guys hit the subscription button, man. We reached 325 on the YouTube, so I appreciate all those who have subscribed. Man, we are kicking butt on that. If you guys haven't left us a review, please do so, man. It is so important and really hard to get reviews on iTunes. So take some time. If you guys are vibing with us, you're actually getting some really good information, some things that you can use in life, and it's actually having an impact in your life. Leave your boy a review, man. I will gladly appreciate it. But I'll see you guys next week. I appreciate the tap in, but I'm tapping out.